Good evening. It was an altercation in a Brampton parking lot that left a 50-year-old man dead. The victim's friends say they believe it was over a parking spot.
Tonight, a 25-year-old man is facing charges, and the victim's girlfriend is searching for answers. CTV's John Musselman spoke with the woman and joins us live from Brampton with the latest. John.
And Nathan, we can let you know that the woman is devastated by what happened here. This happened in the parking lot area behind me at the convenience store.
He was meticulous, so meticulous.
As she looks over some old photos of her boyfriend, Lydia Vayman is struggling to understand why and how this happened.
Chris was the most amazing person in the world.
Her boyfriend, 50-year-old Chris Shanab, was involved in a fight with another man in the parking lot of this convenience store in Brampton. The location is near Castlemore Road and McVean Drive. It happened around 6 o'clock on January the 12th.
He went to his usual convenience store to get cigarettes. From what we know, he never made it in the store. He was left on the ground, and he was found at 6:15. He was brought to the hospital. From what we understand, it was over a parking spot.
Shanab was rushed to a Brampton hospital. He died of his injuries 3 days later after being taken off life support.
Had a heart of gold. He did everything for his dad. He's been taking care of his dad for 9 years. Anything I ever needed, he was always there for me. Anything his friends needed, he was always there for them.
I couldn't believe it for a while because my dad just passed. I'm not even over my dad's death yet. And now my best friend, I hear about my best friend being gone. So it hurt me. It hurt me pretty hard.
Peel police have collected security video from the plaza. It helped identify the suspect vehicle and a license plate number. A 25-year-old man identified as Abdifada Ahmed has been charged with manslaughter.
In this case, what really separates the three is first-degree murder has some sort of premeditation and planning that's required, and the real difference between second-degree murder and manslaughter is the intent to cause serious harm or kill somebody. And in this case, we don't believe necessarily that the person that's been arrested intended to kill this man.
It's not clear if Shanab died because of a blow to the head from a punch or if he may have slipped on the ice and fallen on the pavement during the fight. Vayman says his wallet and cell phone are still missing. We do know Peel police are reviewing the security video. Vayman says her boyfriend was a kind man with a good sense of humor, and he didn't deserve to die like this. And Peel police tell us that the accused man in this case has been remanded in custody. He has a bail hearing next week. A funeral for the victim will be held this Saturday in Richmond Hill. Reporting live in Brampton, I'm John Musselman. I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, John. Also tonight, it didn't take long. Tickets to the Blue Jays home opener sell out in minutes. Expectations have gone up, and so too have the prices.
Next to a story CTV News brought you last week about a Toronto senior living in a community housing building left for more than a month with no windows.
It happened during some of the coldest weather of the year, and after our report, the windows were quickly replaced, and tonight the tenant is back in her home. CTV's Allison Hurst joins us with more. Allison, Joyce Taylor returned to her home today.
Michelle, she certainly did, and we were there. They were putting her up in a hotel while they did the work for the last couple of days, and they brought her home this morning, and we got to head in with her to see her reaction when she saw those windows.
Oh, light. Oh, my God, I got light.
As Joyce Taylor walks in.
Oh, what a difference in here. Oh, my God.
She admires her new windows.
I'm happy. I'm happy. At least I've got light.
The 84-year-old lived in her one-bedroom apartment for nearly a month and a half without windows, despite repeatedly reporting the issue. The holes had been boarded up, an unfinished job that had started at the end of November.
Nobody was listening. I'm just an old woman. They just thought they could do what they want.
A squirrel even got into her apartment over the holidays, taken out by staff, and still no one fixed them.
I was scared of getting sick because I was so cold. It was like being in a dungeon. I hated to come home. To be home, I wanted to be out with her, but it was so cold and snowing that I couldn't get out.
Taylor says calls to management and the mayor's office went unanswered. But within days of our story running last week, work restarted to install her new windows, and she was put up in a hotel, meals provided for the duration.
I can't say how much I thank it. I thank everybody for what they've done. The words go, I know it's only words, but the heart, I feel it. I'm just so thankful.
Hello, hello.
The city's mayor also paid Taylor a visit today,
I'm so happy with him.
Yeah.
We got something done.
It's excellent.
bringing her flowers after all she's been through.
I think it's just unacceptable, outrageous. I can't imagine that board, plexiglass, plastic for all of those long days. We shouldn't have been able to find out from the media, but one way or another, we got it fixed. And that company, will, since they got into receivership, will never use them again.
So nice to see people see that buildings again.
Taylor can now enjoy the comforts of home.
They put my husband's picture. I was the picture. I'm so happy.
Happy to be home after a trying time and once again able to see the view. The TCHC has told us that they have done a thorough review of all of the steps that led to the situation that Taylor was in, and they are implementing some changes because of that. They say that things like an end-of-year closeout process to identify any outstanding or temporary work that's being done. They're going to regularly review logs of any temporary work happening in tenant units, and they're looking to improve information sharing between the TCHC and Toronto Seniors Housing. Reporting live, I'm Allison Hurst. Nathan, back to you.
Good to hear. Thank you, Allison. Time now for a check on that forecast. Here's a live shot of the city. The temperature plunge has begun, so bundle up if you have any plans tonight. And that's not the entire weather story. A major snowfall is expected in a few days. Lindsay Morrison is here with a look at the current conditions. Hey, Lindsay.
Yeah, Nathan, weather continuing to make headlines here in southern Ontario, and perhaps some of our biggest stories of the season still to come over the next 3 days. Colder air is settling in. It's -7 degrees right now at Pearson, but it feels like -17. This time tomorrow, we will be in the middle of the deep freeze. Winds sustained right now, upwards of 40 kilometers per hour out of the west, gusting upwards of 60 It's been a very blustery day out there. Here's a look at the current satellite and radar. We've got lake effect snow, blowing and drifting snow in some areas too. There's the weather watches, warnings and advisories. Overnight tonight, we dropped to -11 degrees, but that pales in comparison to what's ahead. So we'll talk about this blast of Arctic air, and yes, that possible snow on the way for Sunday. It's all coming up in your forecast. For now, Nathan, back to you.
Thank you, Lindsay. Well, it's not exactly baseball weather out there, but for those looking ahead to the summer, today was a big day.
Tickets for the Blue Jays' upcoming season went on sale today, and after a spectacular season, not only was demand up, but so were the prices. CTV's Mike Walker is live at Rogers Centre tonight with more. Mike.
Well, Michelle, Nathan, Blue Jay fans we spoke with today were expecting to pay more, given that the Jays came so close to winning the World Series. And given that high demand, getting a ticket for one fan who attended every home opener since 1980 was impossible today.
It's the section on the birth of the Blue Jays.
Sue Jackson considers herself a diehard Blue Jays fan.
Some of the older calendars, and it shows what each of the games are, and I would write the scores.
She has attended every home opener since 1980.
It's just the feeling that the city gets. It's like baseball is back.
But when she joined the thousands in the online queue for tickets this morning, getting just one seat was impossible.
Some left in the way outfield reaches of the 500s. And even those, as I was trying to click on them, they would literally just disappear as I went to click on them.
All right. Tickets for the home opener sold out in a matter of minutes. And for Jackson, it's a huge disappointment.
Not having the home opener, it just kind of, it hits hard, you know, after what, 46 years?
Others lucked out but paid a premium.
I got my one ticket in the 500 level. There was only one seat left in the whole section, and I just chose it. And it was $127 after fees.
Given the Blue Jays' World Series run, coupled with the market demand, the increase shouldn't be surprising, according to this sports marketing expert.
This is a very sophisticated, global sports city, and the nature of the ticketing systems and dynamic pricing is such that we are going to see tickets priced at what the market will bear.
Prices vary between games throughout the season. When the World Series champions LA Dodgers returned to Toronto, the best available ticket we found in the 100 level was about $283. Similar prices for when Bo Bichette returns to Toronto with his new team, the Mets. The best available ticket more than $190, the cheapest close to $60 each. By contrast, the series against division rivals the Orioles is even cheaper. The most affordable ticket less than $50. The variance, experts say, comes down to dynamic pricing.
It's an economic decision and driver that looks at what can the market bear and looks at demand and supply and then aggregates pricing accordingly.
Jackson managed to get tickets for later in the season and did notice a price jump.
500 levels are asking for like $130 each. And that's sort of what we used to pay when we would sit in the 200s.
Most fans say paying more is par for the course.
It is what it is. You kind of have to just bite the bullet a little bit, but it's a good team, so it's worth watching.
Having made it to the World Series, we were expecting it.
Hopeful for another postseason run as the Blue Jays are set to celebrate their 50th season. Tickets are still available for the home opener on the secondary market. We found them as high as more than $1,800, the cheapest around $200. Reporting live, I'm Mike Walker. Nathan, back to you.
All right, thank you, Mike. Also tonight, baseball isn't the only game coming to town. The World Cup is just a few months away. The plan for soccer fans to dribble around traffic during construction season. But first, as Metrolinx and the TTC face questions over the launch of the Finch West LRT, officials pledge to learn from that experience when the Eglinton Crosstown opens.
But with no actual launch date set, Ontario's opposition parties are pushing for a public inquiry into what's going on with the long-delayed transit project. Line 5 runs 19 kilometers along Eglinton Avenue, and it includes 25 stations and stops from Kennedy to Mount Dennis. The crosstown was originally set to open in 2020, but that date has been pushed back several times amid the pandemic, litigation, and other issues that arose during construction. Last month, the province said work was substantially complete and the line was handed over to the TTC. No opening date has been set, but Premier Doug Ford has long said riders would not get on board before it is safe.
No one wants to open an unsafe line, but for God's sake, why are you coming out with dates that you know it's not going to work? 2020, 2022, 2023, 2024. Do you want me to keep adding dates? Stop keeping the people of Ontario in the dark.
The Liberals say they'd also like to see compensation for businesses affected by crosstown construction. We spoke with a number of transit users who say they'd support an inquiry into the project, which is at least $1 billion over budget.
Very, very frustrating because they say it was only five years from the early construction, 5 years. Then where are we now?
An inquiry is important so we know what's going on.
It's too much time, and like people have been waiting. Like it will help a lot, like if it just opens sooner, and we need to know, like we need answers from them.
Premier Ford said the crosstown could finally open in February. Mayor Chow has promised an update sometime this month. CTV News asked the Ministry of Transportation about the Liberals' call for a public inquiry. The office of Minister Pratmeet Sarkaria responded with a statement saying, "Our government brought both the Eglinton Crosstown and Finch West LRTs to substantial completion after years of neglect and delays by the previous Liberal government." It goes on to say, across the province, we are investing $70 billion in the largest transit expansion in Canadian history, keeping goods, people, and our economy moving. Investments the Liberals have voted against.
York Regional Police are searching for 3 suspects wanted in connection with an early morning home invasion in King Township. This is security video of the incident around 1:45 a.m. near King and Mills Roads. Police say the suspects forced their way into the residence and the homeowner was threatened with a gun while the family hid until the 3 left. No one was hurt, and the suspects left empty-handed in a dark-colored sedan. Police say they're trying to figure out why they didn't take anything.
quite possibly with the homeowner being able to contact police so quickly that the criminals decided just to leave. One of the biggest things with this is they're after property and they're looking to avoid detection. So oftentimes just by contacting 911, you're able to ensure that the people are leaving your house immediately. Now, we are still looking into all the other motivations that might be behind this. It could also be a case of the wrong house or the wrong place at the wrong time.
Police say the 3 suspects were all wearing dark clothing and balaclavas, and they're hoping someone can help identify them.
And staying in York Region, police have laid charges against a 14-year-old boy accused in a series of hate-motivated incidents last fall. Investigators say they were notified in November that someone had called synagogues, Jewish schools, and community centers across York and Toronto and made anti-Semitic comments to staff members. Police say yesterday they arrested the teenager from Newmarket on charges of mischief and drug possession.
There have been a number of serious crashes across the GTA today, including one in Markham that was fatal. Police say 2 vehicles crashed at around 11 a.m. on 9th Line between Elgin Mills and 19th Avenue. They say it looks like they collided head-on. One of the drivers, a 75-year-old man, was found without vital signs, and he was soon pronounced dead in hospital. The other driver, in his 20s, was taken to hospital in Toronto. He suffered serious injuries. As police say, they're working to figure out if blowing snow might have been a factor in this crash.
Right now, we're investigating it, and we do have a independent witness, being a York EMS driver, who was behind one of the car when this happened. So we need to speak to her. She was the one that transported the one of the driver to Markham Stouffville Hospital.
Police are asking anyone else who may have witnessed or captured dash camera footage of this crash to get in touch.
And in Ajax, a pedestrian is fighting for her life in hospital after being struck by a vehicle this morning. The collision happened around 11 at Kingston Road and Ritchie Avenue. The woman was rushed to a trauma center where she remains in critical condition. The driver of the vehicle remained at the scene. There's no word yet on what led to the crash or whether charges will be laid. And police are investigating after a North York home was targeted by gunfire last night. It happened near Bathurst and Finch around 10:30. Police say the home was damaged by bullet holes, and there was other evidence of gunfire found at the scene. No injuries were reported, and there's no word on any suspects. And in Mississauga, an investigation of a home that was targeted 4 times by gunfire and arson. Peel police are searching for a masked suspect who was seen on camera in a stolen black Honda CR-V. It's not clear why the home on Kempton Park Drive is being targeted. Anyone with information is asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers.
A union representing city employees is demanding answers after the death of a worker at the Oak Ridge Community Recreation Center. Toronto Police and the Ministry of Labour are investigating after a city recreation worker died on the job yesterday morning. The city says the worker suffered a suspected medical emergency while at the center. QP Local 79, the union representing City of Toronto indoor workers, posted a statement on Instagram saying they are heartbroken and demanding answers to why this employee was working alone. Mayor Olivia Chow said on social media this morning, "I want to extend my heartfelt condolences to the family of the City of Toronto Parks and Recreation worker who passed away yesterday at Oak Ridge Community Recreation Center. My thoughts are with their family, friends, colleagues, and the community they served during this difficult time." She also said the city is cooperating with the Ministry of Labor's investigation.
Energy efficiency was on the mayor's mind today as she worked to sell her 2026 budget.
Olivia Chow encouraging residents to access funding for upgrades to their homes, but others say saving on utilities can still come at a cost. CTV's Natalie Johnson reports.
Out promoting her proposed budget today, Mayor Olivia Chow was handing off help to a homeowner.
Thank you so much.
Catherine Schultz bought her bungalow in 2022.
So this is all the work we did on the side?
And got right to work making it energy efficient.
New heat pump.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we were so excited.
All of this saves you money, lots of money. What about for the climate?
Right. And so what we also were told, based on that analysis that was done for us, is we cut our greenhouse gas emissions by 49%.
The mayor touting the city funding available in this year's budget to help other homeowners do the same.
If you add all of it up, it is between all of the programs, you can flooding, rain barrel, protect, replacing your furnace, low-cost financing to upgrade your homes. It's safe. An ordinary homeowner is $9,000.
That includes up to $6,650 in basement flooding protection grants covering backwater valves, sump pumps, and backup batteries. Up to $2,000 in rebates to replace a furnace with a heat pump, and low-cost loans for energy-saving upgrades, like new windows, doors, or water heaters.
New in this year's budget, the city will also subsidize about 3,000 of these rain barrels designed to incentivize water conservation on private property, saving homeowners up to $200.
I'm sure there will be some people that benefit, but I just know that there's a lot of folks here in Toronto that are not in a position right now to install a ground source heat pump or put solar panels up on their buildings, and they're just struggling to make ends meet.
The rain barrels are set to cost $387,000 in 2026. Basement flooding prevention initiatives, nearly $10 million. Paid for out of the city's water rate, which increases 3.75% this year for a total average residential bill of just over $1,100. For Catherine Schultz, the energy upgrades are worth every penny.
It's really important to us to get away from fossil fuels for our grandkids.
The city budget promoting going green while working to stay out of the red. Natalie Johnson, CTV News.
When tourists, athletes, and organizers of the World Cup come to Toronto, how will everyone fare getting around on the city's roads?
The city and transit agencies have plans in place when it comes to construction. CTV's Beth McDonnell explains.
As the world descends on Toronto for FIFA in June and July, Toronto's traffic and road construction is top of mind.
It's already a disaster, as we can see, right? And they need to finish every single work there has been going on right now and before the FIFA.
Jabir Rahman drives for work every day.
Get rid of all those barriers, right, that they have, the roadblocks and all that. They're not going anywhere. They said they're going to pause, but those are going to be there. So we are losing lanes.
The city tells CTV News Toronto it expects to complete 3 big projects by the time the World Cup kicks off. That includes the newest one along Queen East between the DVP on-ramp and Broadview to replace old streetcar tracks and the water main, along with the rehabilitation of the DVP Richmond off-ramp and the major work related to a water main and road project on Queen's Park Crescent East near College. In a statement, the city says it remains committed to balancing the needs of the World Cup with ongoing construction. As Toronto prepares to host FIFA World Cup 2026 events, construction activities will be restricted on key routes and in certain parts of the city for the period from May 1st to July 31st. Some projects may need to be completed in advance of this period or paused to avoid impacting critical stages during this period, while others may need to delay starting until after the tournament. The TTC says there is no work scheduled during the World Cup and projects it has with the city could also be paused. As the Ontario line takes shape, Metrolink says construction will continue at work sites, but all trucking in and out of the exhibition area will pause for about 12 hours on the 6 match days to avoid impacting games, fans, customers, and the public.
It's going to be very busy. I'm excited though. It's a big city, so we have big city problems, right? But FIFA is a once-in-a-life opportunity.
Chaotic, but if they have good management, like I heard during the Taylor Swift concert, they did a good job, so I hope that'll be in effect as well.
2 of those projects you mentioned are going to affect me, so hopefully it won't get any worse than it is already.
To make road travel smooth during the World Cup, people told me they'd like to see more transit, more signage, see the city control construction, and communicate if project timelines change. Beth McDonnell, CTV News.
Prime Minister Mark Carney delivered a national address today as he remains in the global spotlight over his speech at the World Economic Forum.
The U.S. president has responded to the PM's Davos remarks by saying Carney should remember that Canada lives because of his country. Today, the PM pushed back.
Canada and the United States have built a remarkable partnership in the economy, in security, and in rich cultural exchange. But Canada doesn't live because of the United States. Canada thrives because we are Canadian.
In a nod to his Davos speech and before a cabinet planning forum, the PM said Canada can't solve all the world's problems, but he thinks the country can be an example to a world that's at sea, protecting democratic values and freedoms. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre said he's willing to work with the PM to turn his words about protecting Canadian sovereignty into results, commenting, "We need to do things, not just say them." He also noted Carney ran on a pledge to reach a deal with the U.S.
Security and defense are issues at the forefront right now, and today, Ukraine's president called out Europe during an address to world leaders following a meeting with Donald Trump.
Just last year, here in Davos, I ended my speech with the words, "Europe needs to know how to defend itself." A year has passed, and nothing has changed. We are still in a situation where I must say the same words, but why? The answer is not just about the threats that exist or may appear. Each year brings something new for Europe and for the world.
Volodymyr Zelensky insisted Europe needs to act now and described it as a fragmented group of small and middle powers. The Ukrainian leader says Europe looks lost trying to convince Trump to change instead of taking the lead in defending freedom worldwide. Zelensky discussed security guarantees and a plan for post-war recovery during his meeting with the U.S. president.
Also in Davos today, Donald Trump inaugurated the organization he's dubbed the Board of Peace. There was a signing ceremony for the project that was initially seen as a small group of world leaders overseeing the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, but it has changed to include mapping out a future of the Gaza Strip. Trump says 59 countries have signed on to the board that will act in coordination with the UN, but some American allies have declined. Canada's prime minister said last week he has agreed in principle to join.
More than 175 million people across the U.S. are bracing for what weather experts warn could be a potentially catastrophic ice storm set to hit over the coming days.
Really plan on prolonged power outages, so have supplies and get ready for this one. It's a big event and expansive. I mean, from New Mexico to all the way to New England, we'll see some of the snow and ice, so just an incredible impact across the board.
Don't begin getting prepared late tomorrow or think you can get around doing it on Saturday. It's going to be too late.
Several areas have declared states of emergency or disaster, and airlines on both sides of the border have warned operations could be impacted. U.S. natural gas prices have also been skyrocketing in recent days thanks to the extreme cold. And the deep freeze isn't stopping at the border. As cold as it is here in the GTA, extreme wind chills are pounding the prairies, chunks of Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba, dealing with wind chill values between -40 and -50. Quebec, Atlantic Canada, and parts of this province are also bracing for temperatures to plunge over the next few days, followed by heavy snow in some parts.
Coming up, possible new homes for Marineland's belugas and dolphins. The Shuttered Park pitches a plan to ship them to the U.S., looking to Ottawa for the green light, warning without it, euthanasia remains the option.
I'm Pat Foran. Coming up on Consumer Alert, many Canadians are refusing to travel to the U.S. due to trade tensions and other factors, and that's been hurting American tourism. Now, several Las Vegas hotels say they'll accept Canadian dollars at par with the U.S. dollar to try to get you back. I'll have that story. That's just ahead.
Well, at this time tomorrow, we will be on our way to a nighttime low of about -20 degrees. Last time it was that cold in Toronto was a couple of years ago. Saturday's high, -15 degrees. Last time we had a daytime temperature that cold was all the way back in 2018. Now, there's that storm we just mentioned stateside. This is the one that could bring us some significant snow into Sunday. It would just be snow, not ice, like some parts of the United States. The question is, how much? We'll try to break it down after the break.
It's been a steady decline of Canadians traveling to the U.S., mainly because of negative feelings towards the Trump administration.
Well, President Trump has said Americans don't need Canadian products. Some U.S. resorts say they want Canadian tourists to return. Here's Pat Foran with a consumer alert.
Border towns were the first to notice the impact of Canadians refusing to cross into the U.S., but now many states have seen drops in Canadian tourism of 20 to 60%. Some hotels in Las Vegas are now rolling out programs to try and entice Canadians to come back. A U.S. report found that in 2024, Canadian tourism contributed more than $20 billion to the U.S. economy and supported 140,000 American jobs. But as many Canadians refuse to travel to the U.S., the hospitality industry is hurting. That's especially true in Las Vegas.
There's all the hotels behind me. They all want Canada to come back just as much as I do.
Derek Stevens, the CEO of Circa Resort and Casino, the D Las Vegas, and the Golden Gate Hotel and Casino, is taking a gamble that some Canadians will come back with a dollar-for-dollar deal.
We miss Canadians. And for me personally, I grew up in a border town of Detroit and Windsor. And I got to see how close we really all were.
Stevens says at his resorts, Canadians will get a financial break until August 31st with the At Par program. Canadian guests will receive $1 U.S. in value for every Canadian dollar spent, regardless of the daily exchange rate.
I want to make sure that Canadians know you still have a lot of friends in America.
I understand why they're doing it. It's been really hard on American tour operators, the loss of the Canadian visitor.
Lauren Christie says he's not surprised Las Vegas casinos want to roll the dice on an idea to get Canadians back, but he questions if it will be enough.
I'm not sure that it's going to have much of effect. It may entice a few people going down, but anecdotally, from what I hear, people are just not interested in going to the United States this year.
Stevens says along with hotel charges being at par with the U.S. dollar, Canadians will be able to redeem up to $500 in slot promotional play, as well as get deals on drinks. He's hopeful some Canadians will make the trip.
I could say there's a lot of Americans that hope that some of the rhetoric dies down and we get back to being what we really are, allies and best friends.
As Canadians shun U.S. travel, you can expect to see more promotions to try to get you to cross the border. But as long as tensions remain, even a dollar-for-dollar deal may not be enough to get Canadians to visit the U.S. On your side, I'm Pat Foran.
If you have a consumer story idea, email us at alert@ctv.ca.
With the weather like it is right now, no doubt some people are thinking, oh, I'd like to fly out of here and go somewhere nice and warm like Vegas, because we are heading well below zero.
Yeah, now would be the perfect time to get on a plane. We're not talking a cold snap for a few days. It seems like a few weeks.
Yeah, it's pretty prolonged, and I hate to break it to you, but the Americans are feeling this cold as well. This is a widespread impact, the Arctic plunge that we are about to fall into, and already it is impacting weekend plans for some. In fact, earlier today, the Toronto Maple Leafs announcing that they have had to cancel their outdoor practice on Monday. They're moving it indoors. Last year, it was, of course, held outdoors, and typically it is. This is what it looked like last year. It was cold, but this weekend it's going to be just a little too cold, especially on Saturday. There were going to be outdoor festivities happening for fans, but the indoor practice will carry on Monday at Maple Leaf Gardens. But it's worth pointing out, too, that Monday we could be dealing with some significant snow. We'll get to that. First, here's a look at the current temperatures across Saskatchewan and Manitoba. So the cold has arrived in this part of Canada. It is on its way to northwestern Ontario. Feels like minus 40 right now in Thunder Bay. It feels like minus 32 in Moosonee. Still feeling into the minus teens here in southern Ontario, but this time tomorrow, it's going to be feeling into the minus 20s, nearing minus 30. So now we're going to start to talk about the risks of frostbite over the next couple of days. Overnight tonight, core temperature expected to be around minus 11 degrees, and then temperatures from there are going to fall through the day tomorrow. So an afternoon high in many parts of southern Ontario in the minus teens. I should correct that, not an afternoon high, just simply an afternoon temperature, because we will likely have our warmest temperature of the day earlier on in the morning. Here's what tomorrow looks like. Around 3 p.m., minus 13 degrees, feeling like minus 23. And then the overnight temperature around minus 21, minus 22, but feeling closer to minus 30. So I do expect that we're going to see some extreme cold warnings pop up. Right now, we're still talking about snow squalls near Lake Huron, Georgian Bay, and even around Niagara. It's been pretty active for you again today. For the GTA, we've had blowing and drifting snow, reducing visibility, but no further snowfall accumulation. Here's what's expected in the snow belt. Over the next 24 to 36 hours, we can expect more snow, maybe a trace to a centimeter accumulating here around the city of Toronto. Winds are going to start to die down into Saturday, so there is that. But first, they're going to change direction. We will tap into a northerly wind that ushers in the colder air. It also brings some of us the opportunity to get clipped by some snow squalls. And then watch the bottom of your screen here. First signs of this questionable system stateside. Will it impact us here in southern Ontario? Confidence is starting to build that yes, it will. And while it is still far too early to determine snowfall amounts, at this point, we can't rule out the possibility of 10 to 20 centimeters. And again, that's for Sunday, but it will likely impact your Monday morning commute. So there's the cold, there's the snow. And Nathan, as you mentioned, that cold likely sticking around right through to the end of January. It's the weather for now. I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Lindsay. Also tonight, the nominations are in. Who's in the running for Hollywood's biggest prize? The surprises, snubs, and the film that got so many nominations, it broke a record.
With temperatures expected below -20 tomorrow night, and that is not including wind chill, experts say it's important to be aware of the risk of frostbite.
Health reporter Pauline Chan spoke with one expert about what to do.
When the wind chill dips below -30, the risk of frostbite goes up.
And I got contacted probably within the last 2 days about 6 times about frostbites already. And some of them were significant.
Dr. Mark Yeshke's big worry is the unhoused who are exposed for a prolonged time.
At the beginning, you feel numb, you have some pain, but then, as you know, as the tissue damage progresses, your pain goes usually away. And people are like, oh, I'm fine, I'm okay, but then they don't realize that it just gets worse and worse.
Hamilton Health Sciences has a video on how to avoid frostbite. Layer up, especially your head and neck, and protect your feet and hands. And while some suggest warm water, Dr. Yeshke prefers other methods to warm up the hands and feet.
Go somewhere warm, layer up, massage gently, rub the gently, bring the blood flow back, move your hands, move your body, get the circulation going.
A new drug approved in Canada in 2024 is also available for severe cases.
It dilates the blood vessels and makes sure there is more blood flow to the area that is affected by the frostbite.
But there is a downside. It has to be used within 72 hours, and it can cause a dangerously fast heartbeat, so its use must be monitored.
Discolorization, right? And your fingers remain white or get blue and all of a sudden have some blisters, have some changes on your toes, you should see medical attention.
As for how long you can stay outside, Dr. Yeshke says go inside as soon as you start to feel numb or uncomfortable and use your common sense. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
It was a big day for Hollywood as the Oscar nominations were announced.
Some nominations were expected, others were a surprise, and a few were Canadian. CTV's Andrea Case reports.
Sinners, the vampire horror box office hit, was released way back in April. It received 16 Academy Award nominations, the most ever in the Academy's 98-year history. Nominations include 3 for Ryan Coogler, Best Director, Best Picture, and Best Screenplay. On the film's acting side, a Best Acting nod to Michael B. Jordan, Best Supporting Actor for Delroy Lindo, and Best Supporting Actress Wunmi Masaku. If there's a film which can give Sinners a run for its money, that film is one battle after another. It garnered 13 nominations, including Best Director and Best Film for Paul Thomas Anderson. He's been nominated 11 times and never won one yet. His cast, including Leonardo DiCaprio, Benicio del Toro, Sean Penn, and Tiana Taylor, were all nominees, but no nomination for Chase Infinity. Locally, made in Toronto, Frankenstein received numerous nominations, including Jacob Elordi, who played the monster, and Toronto producer J. Miles Dale in the Best Film category. And the wild ride continues for Toronto's Maggie Kang, whose K-pop Demon Hunters was nominated in the Best Animated Film category, and Golden was nominated for Best Original Song. 11 actors are first-time nominees, including from the film Sentimental Value, Stellan Skarsgård, Renate Rintsev, Inga Ibsdottir Lilius, and Elle Fanning. Sentimental Value received 9 nominations, as did Marty Supreme, giving star Timothy Chalamet his second Best Actor nomination in 2 years. You also heard his name called as a producer on the film. Rounding out the Best Film list, Bugonia, F1, Hamnet, The Secret Agent, and Train Dreams. Comedian Conan O'Brien will host the 98th Academy Awards on March 15th. You can watch them right here on CTV. CTV's division of Bell Media. Andrea Case, CTV News.
Get Toronto's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
A federal court has ruled on an order that demanded TikTok stop operating in Canada. B&M Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez has more.
Don't panic. TikTok will keep entertaining Canadians, at least for now. A judge has shelved the order that demanded the social media company wind down its Canadian operation. There were security concerns about the parent company's links to the Chinese government. But there will be a new national security review of the company. TikTok says it has 14 million users in Canada. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up to 72.53. West Texas Intermediate down over $1 to 59.36. Western Canadian Select up just a bit to 45.43. And the TSX gained 151 points to close back above 33,000. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
The Business Report is brought to you by Canadian Western Bank, the bank built for business.
Marineland is once again warning the federal government it'll be forced to euthanize dozens of beluga whales.
That's unless it urgently approves a new request the shuttered theme park is making to move them to aquariums in the United States. Here's CTV's Jan.22.
Since last summer, the future of these belugas has been a huge question mark, captive in a shuttered theme park which closed months ago. Now Marineland in Niagara Falls pitching a plan to ship the animals to the States, reportedly making plans to euthanize them if Ottawa says no to the proposal.
I think it could very well be the best place for these animals to go, but I think it's so wrong that Marineland is holding the government hostage and they're threatening to kill their whales if they don't get the answer that they're looking for.
In what's being called an urgent rescue proposal, Marineland's 30 remaining belugas and 4 dolphins would reportedly be sent to aquariums in Orlando, Atlanta, Chicago, and Stonington, Connecticut. Marineland has said it can't afford to look after the whales and wants to sell the property. Last year, it pitched transferring them to an aquarium in China, but Ottawa denied that request.
You want to send them to a place where there's accountability. The original proposal to send the whales to China didn't address that. This new proposal does.
Some had hoped they could be moved to a proposed seaside sanctuary in Nova Scotia, but it has yet to raise the millions it needs to open. In a statement, the Fisheries Minister's office confirmed the minister was presented with new export permit applications and that the minister will review them expeditiously. 20 whales have died at Marineland since 2019, and experts say sending them to multiple aquariums in the U.S. is hardly a perfect solution.
It's going to break them up, so that's not great for family and relationship bonds between the animals.
And some would like to see assurances they won't be used for breeding, which is illegal in Canada. Still, the experts we talked to all think Ottawa will give the proposal the green light, given the options that remain. John Vanavalley-Rouse, CTV News, Toronto.
Just ahead, shaped by historical fact, inspired by science fiction. A new art exhibit celebrates Black culture, past, present, and future.
Finally tonight, what do you get when you combine Black culture and science fiction?
That's the focus of a new exhibit at Harbourfront Centre. CTV's Jessica Smith has a preview.
A new exhibition at the Harbourfront Centre is combining Black culture and sci-fi.
It's called Building Black Amorphia Spiritual Starships. So it's one of my 4 bodies of work. In this one, I focus on West African mass-making traditions while also being inspired by science fiction.
Eko Numako, a Ghanaian-Canadian visual artist, has created 16 sculptures made entirely from Lego.
Sometimes I'll sketch ideas out, sometimes I'll just want to get my hands into the material. It's Lego, it's such a tactile experience.
The monochromatic creations are a part of Kumba, a month-long celebration at the Harbourfront in February in honor of Black History Month.
Kumbh has been going on for 31 years here at Harbourfront Centre, and what to expect is so much. We have the theme of Sounds of Blackness. We have visual arts, craft, music, dance, spoken word. We have it all right here.
For Namako, he hopes his work will help people across the diaspora feel seen and represented beyond Black History Month as well.
We are so used to, February and then everything kind of goes away. So it's important to just ensure that people know that we are thought about and we're considered.
The exhibition, along with the Kumbh programming, are designed to create inspiration and inclusivity. Building Black and Morpheus Spiritual Starships is free to attend here at the Harbourfront Centre. It runs from February 1st all the way through to the end of August. Jessica Smith, CTV News.
All right, can't wait to check it out.
I know, it's a time to spend more time indoors because outdoors is potentially dangerous. We're heading into the deep freeze.
We sure are. So it becoming quite cold starting tonight, but really going to feel it tomorrow. It's still snowing in many areas too. Let's take one more look at the satellite and radar. You've had snow today around Welland, Niagara Falls. You're getting a little bit of snow this hour in the Hamilton area over toward Kitchener-Waterloo, and then Coldwater, Gravenhurst communities. Also seeing lake effect snow squalls again today. This is what we're waking up to. The temperature is actually going to fall from there through the afternoon. Already feeling into the -20s again for the afternoon temperature. And then overnight, that's when it's going to feel like -30. Waking up Saturday morning, frigid. Daytime high of -15 degrees. Sunshine during the day, then an increase in cloud cover at night, setting us up for what could end up being a pretty snowy Sunday and perhaps a pretty unsettled start to next week on Monday morning. That's your look at the forecast. Nathan and Michelle.
So much winter. Thank you, Lindsay. That's it for us, but be sure to join Omar Sachedina tonight at 11 for CTV National News, followed by Zarada Alman with our next local newscast. That's at 11:30.
Meantime, our coverage continues anytime on CP24 and at ctvnewstoronto.ca.
For Lindsay Morrison and the whole team here at CTV News, thanks for watching and have a great night.